44% of Americans cannot cover a $1,000 emergency without borrowing. That number gets quoted a lot. What doesn't get discussed is who those people are. We assume it's people who didn't try hard enough, people who didn't get the right degree, people who made bad choices early. But researchers at Bankrate and Lending Club have found the same thing over and over. A significant chunk of that 44% earns six figures. They got the degree. They got the promotions. They did what they were told. The salary grew. The lifestyle grew with it. And somehow, the gap between income and financial security never closed. This video is about why that happens. And more importantly, it's about the specific rules that break that pattern. These aren't motivational tips. These aren't generic cut your coffee advice. These are the minimalist money rules that create a structural barrier between someone and financial chaos, regardless of how much they earn. The difference between the people who stay financially stable and everyone else isn't discipline. It isn't income. It's a set of rules that run quietly in the background, doing the work automatically. Let's talk about what they are. What most people think financial stability means. Ask most people what it would take to feel financially stable. 65% of Americans in a CNBC survey said they were living paycheck to paycheck. When asked what would fix it, 42% said spending less than they make. 33% said a better paying job. So the majority believe the answer is income. Get a raise, get a promotion, get a second job, then the problem goes away. That belief is why so many educated, hardworking people stay stuck. Here's what the data actually shows. Between 2022 and 2023, U.S. consumer spending grew by nearly 6% across all income brackets. But only about half of American adults had enough savings to cover 3 months of expenses. Income went up. Savings didn't follow. The Bureau of Labor Statistics found that the average American household spent $78,500 in 2024. Household credit card debt hit a record $1.21 trillion in that same period. People are earning more than ever. They're also spending more than ever. And the margin in between the actual safety net is razor thin. The belief that I'll save when I earn more is the exact belief that financial instability feeds on. Because when the raise comes, there's always a reason the raise gets absorbed. A nicer apartment, a newer car, subscriptions that weren't there before. This is not about willpower. It's about a system that works against saving by default and the minimalist rules that reverse that default. The real cause, why earning more doesn't fix it. There's a term financial researchers use, lifestyle inflation. It means this. Every time income increases, spending increases to match it. Sometimes spending increases faster. This isn't a character flaw. It's a predictable psychological response. When things that used to feel like luxuries become normal, the brain stops registering them as extras. The pricier apartment becomes the baseline. The subscription services become necessities. The upgraded phone becomes just a phone. Psychologists call this hedonic adaptation. The human brain adjusts to new comfort levels quickly, then stops producing the satisfaction that originally justified the upgrade. So people keep upgrading, chasing a feeling that keeps moving. But lifestyle inflation isn't just psychological anymore. The economy has been engineered to accelerate it. C+R research found in 2024 that the average American household spends $273 per month on subscription services alone. That's up 435% from 2018. More disturbing, 74% of people significantly underestimate how much they're spending on subscriptions. These costs are invisible by design. They're small. They're automatic. They hit on different days of the month. No single charge is alarming. Combined, they can quietly drain $3,000 a year from a household budget. This is level 1 of the problem. Automatic, invisible spending that grows faster than awareness. At level 2, the structure of modern consumer life creates artificial urgency. A promotion doesn't just mean more money. In most social and professional environments, it implicitly means a new car, a better neighborhood, a different wardrobe. Status signaling is the mechanism. The peer group sets the baseline. Moving up means spending up. At level 3, The advertising industry has been specifically optimized to exploit these patterns. Over $240 billion is spent on advertising in the United States each year, compared to $5 billion in the 1950s. Every dollar of that is aimed at making current comfort feel insufficient. The result is a population that earns more every decade and feels less financially secure every decade. Minimalist money rules exist to break that cycle at the structural level, not by resisting every temptation, but by making the rules of the game work for saving instead of against it. How the trap operates, the subscription, the upgrade, the invisible drain. Let's get specific about how money actually disappears. Amazon Prime is the cleanest example of how modern spending traps work. It started as a shipping service. It expanded into video, music, grocery delivery, gaming, pharmacy discounts, photo storage, all bundled into $139 a year. The result? Prime members spend $1,400 per year on Amazon. Non-members spend $600. The subscription didn't just cost money. It changed behavior, making Amazon the automatic first choice for purchases. This is the subscription trap in its purest form. A low monthly fee that restructures spending habits entirely. The same mechanism operates across streaming platforms, gym memberships, meal kit services, cloud storage, news subscriptions, premium apps, and digital wellness tools. Each one is individually justifiable. Together, they form a layer of fixed monthly costs that most people have never added up. HelloFresh had over 70% churn in the US in 2024, meaning most customers cancel eventually. But the damage was already done. Months of charges for a service that slowly stopped being used. Then there's the upgrade cycle. The research firm that calculated car payment opportunity cost found this. Choosing an $800 monthly car payment over a $500 one costs $3,600 a year. Invested over 25 years at 8% annual returns. That's $263,000 in lost wealth. One car upgrade decision. A $250,000 difference in final wealth. The trap doesn't announce itself. It shows up as normal. A slightly nicer place to live. A slightly newer vehicle. Slightly more convenient food. Slightly better tech. Each individually reasonable. Combined, they form a permanent income drain that grows over time while salaries inch forward. The people who escape this understand something specific. Every recurring expense is not a monthly cost. It's a lifetime commitment. Minimalist money rules treat it that way from the start. The psychology that keeps people stuck, 3 forces at work. Understanding the trap is one thing. Understanding why smart people stay in it is another. 3 psychological forces are worth naming directly. The first is status signaling. A Ramsey Solutions study found that 40% of Americans admit to overspending to impress others on things they wouldn't have bought otherwise. This isn't vanity. It's a social survival mechanism. Humans are wired to track their position in a group. Possessions became proxies for status before psychology had words for it. The modern version is a feedback loop. Social media shows curated spending. Peers upgrade. The reference point for normal shifts upward. Anyone who doesn't follow feels like they're falling behind, even if their balance sheet is healthier than anyone around them. The second is the sunk cost trap in reverse. Most people know about sunk cost, continuing a bad investment because of what's already been spent. The reverse version is less discussed. It sounds like this. I've worked hard all year. I deserve this. Clever Real Estate's 2024 research found that 84% of Americans justify unnecessary purchases with some version of I deserve it. This belief isn't irrational, it feels earned. The problem is that the treat purchased with this logic is frequently financed with money that was already mentally assigned to stability. The reward erodes the safety net. The third is normalcy bias around financial fragility. 27% of Americans have no emergency savings at all, according to Bankrate's 2024 report. But it doesn't feel like a crisis to those individuals because everyone around them is in a similar position. If most of the peer group doesn't have 3 months of savings, not having 3 months of savings doesn't feel dangerous. It feels normal. Normalcy bias is what keeps a genuinely dangerous financial position from triggering alarm. The discomfort needed to change behavior never arrives, because the situation looks the same as everyone else's. These three forces, status signaling, the deserving trap, and normalcy bias, work together to make financial instability feel comfortable until something external breaks it. The minimalist money rules that follow are specifically designed to disrupt these three patterns. The minimalist money rules that actually work. These rules aren't theoretical. They're drawn from the behavioral patterns of people who actually escape the cycles described in this video. Rule 1. Every expense is permanent until proven otherwise. Most people evaluate new costs as one-time decisions. Minimalist thinking treats every new recurring expense as a permanent commitment. Before any subscription, upgrade, or ongoing service, the question isn't, can I afford this month? The question is, am I willing to pay this every month for the next 5 years? That reframe eliminates most impulse additions. The brain defaults to yes on a monthly cost. It defaults to hesitation on a 5-year commitment. Same cost, different mental accounting. Rule 2. Save before the lifestyle adjusts. The window between a raise and the lifestyle response to a raise is where financial stability is either built or lost. The people who build it automate as savings increase immediately before any new spending is normalized. Not all of the raise. A portion. Many financial planners suggest 50% of any income increase goes directly to savings or debt reduction before any lifestyle adjustment happens. This is the only point in the cycle where the margin genuinely expands. After the lifestyle adjusts, the margin closes permanently. Rule 3. Audit subscriptions every 90 days without exception. Subscription costs are invisible precisely because no single charge triggers discomfort. A 90-day audit, a full review of every recurring charge, consistently reveals $100 to $300 in services that haven't been actively used. The research confirms 74% of people are spending more than they think. The audit makes the invisible visible. Rule 4. Separate the emergency fund from every other account. 27% of Americans have no emergency savings. The ones who do often have it in the same account as daily spending, where it's psychologically accessible and vulnerable to small decisions that feel reasonable in the moment. People who maintain financial stability keep emergency funds in a separate account with friction to access. A different bank, a different app, not a wire. This isn't about distrust of self. It's about reducing the number of decisions that have to be made under stress. Rule 5. Define enough before spending increases. Lifestyle inflation has no natural ceiling. The peer group keeps moving. Advertising keeps moving. The reference point for comfortable is a moving target by design. Minimalist financial stability requires setting the ceiling deliberately, defining what enough looks like in terms of housing, transportation, food, and leisure, and treating any budget above that as discretionary wealth building, not lifestyle entitlement. This is the most uncomfortable rule because it requires resisting a system that profits from undefined enough. It's also the one that creates the most durable financial security. What financial stability actually looks like and where to start. The average American household spends $78,000 a year. The personal savings rate hovers around 4% of disposable income. Those two numbers tell the story. Most financial education focuses on the $78,000, how to budget it, track it, categorize it. The minimalist approach asks a different question. How do the rules get set up so that the 4% expands automatically without requiring daily willpower? The answer is structural, not motivational. The 5 rules in this video aren't habits. They're decisions made once that change the default state of a financial life. Every recurring expense treated as permanent. Savings increases automated at the moment of a raise. Subscriptions audited quarterly. Emergency funds separated with friction. Enough defined before it gets defined by outside forces. None of these require earning more. All of them require setting up a different default. The single most practical question worth sitting with today. Pick one subscription, any one, that hasn't been used in the past 30 days. Calculate what that subscription costs per year. Then calculate what it costs over 10 years. That's the start. Not a budget overhaul. Not a lifestyle change. One decision. One cost made visible. Financial stability isn't built in a single month of discipline. It's built by setting up rules that compound quietly in the right direction, the same way lifestyle inflation compounds quietly in the wrong one.